Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to a new episode of the Kevirsyle Network podcast. It's your boy, Kevin Davis. You know, I'm a comic creator, author, entrepreneur, and I have way too many hats to explain. But today's guest is a fun one because he's a horror author, a horror fan, and a horror nerd just like me. So please welcome to the show, Mr. Bryan Nowak, if I pronounce your name correctly.
Correct. That's exactly right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, well, awesome. So with that, welcome to the show, man. It is great to finally meet you.
Uh,
First of all, how are you doing, man?
Pretty good. Having a lovely day out here in Northern Virginia. It's actually reasonably nice outside, and the humidity is relatively low. It's just a gorgeous day. Just a gorgeous day.
I wish it was that good out here. 'Cause right now we're going through a storm. Right now, literally just popped out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's the time of year though. That
Uh,
happens to us quite often. Well, that and we get the hurricanes later on in the
oof.
year, so that's
Oh
always
Jesus.
that's always a lot of rain. But
Yeah, I
it's
feel
okay.
that.
It's okay.
Well, let's get into for new people. Let's get into know you. Tell us a bit about who you are and like what you do.
Sure, absolutely. So, as you mentioned, I'm a horror author. I started writing, and I just answered this question, so I should know the answer off the top of my head. 13 years ago, so it was 2013, I think it was, and
Nice.
I
Okay.
started writing my first novel, which I don't even sell anymore, actually, for a bunch of different reasons. But then I don't know. I promised myself if I could write one book, I would, that's sort of proof of concept I could do it. So I kept going from there. And I don't know, I've always been a writer ever since I was in elementary school. I would come up with these crazy stories, and they always sort of centered around monsters and ghosts and that kind
Yeah.
of thing. Because growing up, my mom pretty much fed me on a steady diet of these classic horror movies: Dracula, Swamp
Oh,
Thing,
yes.
Mummy, Wolfman. But, you know, I think that heavily influenced kind of the way I looked at the world.
Hmm.
Uh, and my short digression: when I was really little, my great aunt lived in the apartment building that my grandparents owned. Is in Chicago, and it was there that I realized I sort of picked up on kind of the energies in the house, and I maintain till this day that house was very haunted. Uh, and there was a room in the back I would refuse to go in. Refuse to go in.
you,
Uh,
you can never trust no back room at all.
no,
No.
never trust back rooms. I mean, trust them about as much as you trust Taco Bell. So just
Yeah,
saying.
exactly, exactly. I haven't had Taco Bell in years, and I want to keep that streak going. So,
Yeah, yeah. I had an unfortunate incident, which I'll spare your listeners. By the way, we don't need to go
oh,
into that one. It's
one first of all, Dracula, Frankenstein's, like those type of stories. I grew up on as well.
yeah,
And the Mummy and just creature type of stuff stories just really just grabs my attentions very quickly.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I love like the alien movies as well. And go on like when I got older and like understanding like storytelling, I'm like, granted, I hated writing for a long time. I hated writing for a long time, especially in
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
But it was school where I found out I had the gift of writing.
Yeah.
And a normal person would be like, when I say like those alien designs, they be like terrified, like, what the crap is that? I was like,
Mhm.
but the way my brain goes is that how do they pee in that? I was like, oh, I was like, is that hairy on their body? Like, how do they how do they carry that on set while filming a scene? I'm like,
I
I'm like, I'm not normal. Like,
the
always, I
the
might
the
need
sound
therapy.
bite here is, how do they pee in that? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be here all week.
I was like, that's how my brain goes. I'm like, it's an awesome design. And I'm always like, I'm like, if I ever become an actor, I want to be a creature actor because
Yeah.
it turns out I'm actually very good at scaring people without trying to scare people. And like I sit, like for example, my sister, I'm simply walking down a hallway about to get some water. My sister turns around and flinches. I'm like, what is your problem? Like, what is wrong? And she's like, I didn't hear your feet. I was like, well, I'm sorry. I'm just getting some water. And growing up watching like shows like Fallen Skies and just
Yeah,
seeing those designs,
yeah,
it was like I am so curious to see,
yeah,
like, to learn that craft. And like
yeah.
I'm like I would love I wouldn't I don't care if it's like 12 hours.
Well,
I would.
all those movies and such got me really, and my experiences in my aunt's house, my great aunt's house,
Wow.
made me want to. Actually, I take that back. It was actually my grandparents' apartment,
Wow.
but it was all in the same building. Uh,
Gotcha,
but
gotcha.
the it made me want to read every single ghost book the elementary school library had, which I did.
Wow. Heck yeah,
So
dude.
yeah, yeah,
That's freaking awesome. And I also grew up like reading the Goosebumps books and
yeah,
watching that show.
yeah.
Um, was just like any like particular like book or like show or movie that really just that kicked you into like, okay, I want to tell my own type of story.
So and it's not the most terrifying of books I've ever read. The book Watchers by Dean Koontz was
Oh,
one of those that I read, and I'm like, this is so cool. It's not a terrifying story as much as it is more like a thriller kind of thing.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but another one that I don't know how terrifying it was meant to be, but it is
yeah.
still one of the most terrifying books I ever read. Is The Oddkins by Dean Koontz,
I never
where
read that one.
it's kind of a quasi children's book. Um, if you hate your kids, I think.
Of
Because it
course.
is about a set of toys that a toy maker makes, which are magical, and the toy maker dies, allowing the other toys, which are evil, to come back to life to try and take over. And it's about the good ones and the bad ones. It is a terrifying little book, but I enjoyed it so much. That was a good one. There's so many great novels out there to read. I think quite possibly, we're never going to read them all, right? It's just
Yeah,
not possible.
yeah.
I like the classics. A Portrait of Dorian Gray that is
Yes.
body
God,
horror
I
to the
love that one.
max. I love it. It was
Yes.
great. Um, the classic Dracula epistolary format is phenomenal. It's a phenomenal piece of work.
Heck yeah.
I mean, I can always recommend the new book Henrico House by Bryan Nowak, but
We're about to
I'm
get into
go-
that in a second,
I'm
actually.
going to anyway, regardless. But no, I mean, there's so many. I'll mention my good friend and fellow writer Ronald Malfi. Is if you're not reading Malfi, honestly, you need to get out and do it. So that's another great avenue for people out there who are looking for a new horror kick. Yeah.
And since you mentioned it, you're about to get into your book, Henrico House.
Shameless promotion.
So, for us that's new to your work, can you tell us a bit about the story of Henrico House and how and what inspired this story?
Absolutely. Here we go. Dun dun
Oh,
dun. Right
let me
there.
zoom in right quick. Look at
And
that
that
beauty.
isn't that a cool cover?
That is beautiful. Yes,
Yes.
I love that.
This is the
Oh,
product of the mind of Gene Raleigh. Did an amazing job with the book cover. So
heck
yeah,
yeah.
Henrico House. You know what? Should I read the back?
Hey,
How
let's
how
do it.
about how about let's
Let's do it.
I gotta put on glasses because, well, I'm old, and without them I can't see anything. So some houses
Let me put
remember.
your front and center right quick.
Okay.
All right, there you go.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Some houses remember, some houses hunger. When twin paranormal investigators Helena and Miko Watson finally gain access to the notorious Henrico house, they expect their biggest case yet: a crumbling Virginia mansion steeped in centuries of death, from Civil War amputations to a rumored quadruple murder suicide. But something far older and far more sinister than any ghost lurks inside. Deep beneath the house, in a hidden cavern lit by a single glowing lantern, thousands of tormented souls lay trapped, providing fuel for an ancient demon that feasts on suffering, an evil requiring continual renewal for its insatiable appetite for the pain of others. As the twins are pulled into this nightmarish battle between worlds, they discover the true horror isn't the spirits lurking in the halls or lurking the halls of the Henrico house. It's the thing that controls their every move. To survive, brother and sister have to confront an evil that knows their deepest fears and already resides deep within their own minds. Henrico House.
Wow, that's freaking
Yeah.
amazing.
So I love the idea behind it sort of so I do some
Hey, what's up, Grey Wolf?
hi Gray Wolf. There's a wonderful I do a lot of paranormal investigation too. So
Oh,
and
okay.
I
Do
love
tell.
well I love the so I okay, so full disclosure, I've
Mhm,
never walked into a paranormal investigation and said, "Oh, there's a negative spirit here." Generally speaking, this is not something that occurs.
mhm,
Um,
mhm,
I I just love the idea of there being energies out there that are different, than what we know in the living world. And I truly
mhm.
believe these energies exist. So, they're worth checking out and investigating and looking into, which is fine.
Yep.
The idea of paranormal investigation is something that fascinates me so much. I love it. I absolutely love doing it. Um, the the idea of Miko and Helena being twins
Mhm,
is it's a phenomenal relationship. And actually, the beta readers who read Henrico House, I think one of their comments was something along the lines of they love the relationship between brother and sister
mhm.
because them being twins makes them basically inseparable. Twins share a bond that those of us who are born just single. Oh yeah.
Oh, wow, nice.
Oh, I'll tell you what.
Wow.
Gray Wolf, I'm right there with you. I'm actually half Hoosier, but anyway, let me get back to my story. The that bond between brother and sister is something that we who are just single children born, we don't really understand, and I
Damn.
love
Oh, man.
the fact that yeah, what, I wish I could get ghosts to follow me and do things like take my car to get it inspected. Finish the laundry would be phenomenal. I would love if I could get like a Cajun ghost because I do love a good Cajun cooking. That would be phenomenal. But
Oh, damn. Oh, that's messed up. Good lord.
so madness. I think you may actually have a haunted object in your house. You may want to check that out too. Just make sure you're not actually moving it with you. But that's okay.
Facts.
But yes, Henrico House was very much built on this idea of that strong relationship between brother and sister. I
Mhm,
think is phenomenal. But there's also the story of Charles. Now Charles is the caretaker of Henrico House, and as a subplot element, Charles tries to warn them. He tries to tell them, "You don't really understand."
I would too, Grey Wolf. I would.
How would you pay a ghost? You'd keep giving them money and they keep dropping it. Hmm.
I mean I'm pretty sure there's ways possibly. You never know
Yeah, I don't
what will
know.
happen.
Here, if you do this for me, I'll give you your own room. I don't know.
Right.
But there's a
Yeah.
uh, um, there's a wonderful thing where Charles tries to warn Miko and Helena to
Mm.
not do this. Don't undertake this investigation. You have no idea what you're getting into because Charles knows the truth. And because
Ah.
Charles knows the truth, but he plays such an important role in the second half of the book.
Mm.
Um, and I think for readers, uh, it, I'm trying. I know spoilers. Brian, the writer,
Mhm.
does not do spoilers, but I hope his story tugs at your heartstrings at least a little bit
Mhm.
when you get through to the end because I think it's just a great story. Um,
Mm.
I love the way it turned out. Henrico House was a bit of a labor of love because there's a lot of elements that I think are deeply personal to me.
Mm.
Yeah.
And like you said, without spoilers, what makes Henrico House like different compared to like other haunted house type of stories?
I think because there is the element. First of all, the brother and sister element is absolutely essential. Um, and I'll also say that there is this demonic element that plays a very important role, but it all gets wrapped up in history. This idea, if you're familiar with the theory that that the ground, like the rock beneath a house, can hold certain energies.
Mhm.
That's indeed what we kind of see happening in Henrico House, where the structure of the ground below the house makes it this perfect uh, hotbed churn of evil, if you will. And so many bad things have happened on the property that you find out through reading the book, that you can take this and go, oh my gosh, okay, I can kind of understand why this is so messed up. There's an old slave quarters giving, this is a Virginia plantation home, old slave
Mm.
quarters on the property. So there's, the misery and horror of that whole experience. But prior to that, Native American terrible things happen with competing tribes on the same property. So
Mhm.
all of that together starts to fuse into almost this whirling, swirling ball of negativity and evil. Dare I say?
When both of my boys turned 3, a little blonde haired boy in a red shirt would pick on them while they tried to sleep. It followed us too. Good God Almighty, that's very specific.
I
Wow.
I lived in a I lived in a house for a while that we had a resident. Well, we think we actually had two
Mm.
specters living there. Both were old women. They didn't die in the house; they died in the local hospital. But they absolutely loved the house. They would maintain the grounds and the gardens and all that stuff. I saw one while I was in my bedroom, and it stopped by my door or shadow, and I don't know what made me do this, but I looked over at it and I said, "Don't worry, I'm okay." And it walked away. Well, um,
Interesting.
I was the only person in the house. Everybody else was in Chicago. The house was located in Minnesota. So nobody just showed up.
Oh my God.
Um, but it was
Uh,
a,
I remember a couple years ago, I was sleeping, and I remember like in the middle of the night, I heard like a laugh, like a creepy laugh, and I heard like footsteps, and the laugh sounded like Slappy the doll from Goosebumps, and
yes.
I was like, "Am I?" I'm like, "I don't drink, but why am I hearing Slappy the doll right now in my room or around the house? I don't know where." I wasn't scared at all because like I'm a horror nerd, so like a normal
Yeah.
person be terrified.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, why? I'm like, am I high on something? Or
I
like,
would
am I in a deep slumber that I am dreaming about Slappy the doll right now?
I
I
would
mean, I
be
don't
up
know.
out of bed and investigating.
Yeah, I'm like,
Ooh.
I couldn't tell if I was still sleepy or if I was a hot for it. It was so freaking hilarious to me. That, I mean, and I don't think I remember the next day what happened. I just woke up normally. It was freaking hilarious. But I still remember that night. It sounded like Slappy the doll from Goosebumps was laughing and like running around the
Yeah.
house, and
S-
it was interesting. And I'm a
s-
huge Goosebumps fan. That's also why I wasn't scared because I'm a huge Goosebumps fan. So I was just like very curious. I'm like, why am I dreaming or am I awake right now, thinking about Slappy the doll?
so you love the character of Lucy.
Mhm.
Lucy is sort of the physical manifestation of
Oh wow.
kind of the physical manifestation of the evil that's going into the house.
Mhm.
Ah,
Right, right.
In Minnesota. Oh, there you go.
Wow. Wow.
The the taste in the
Oh,
weed part, I like it.
yeah. I
Uh,
might check out Grey Wolf's book that's on Amazon that he wrote
there
a
you
few
go.
years ago.
There you go.
Awesome, awesome.
I
Well, I'm
love.
sorry, but what was you saying?
Oh, I was saying that Lucy, the character of Lucy in Henrico House, actually is is sort of that manifestation of the
Mhm.
evil, if you will. It's almost that that interface between the world of the living and kind of the world of this negative energy, which is just built up.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
while you was writing your book, was there like any scenes that like surprised you and while you was telling your story?
You know, As a writer, I think there's a lot of times that so I don't really I don't plan anything out. I don't sit there and write elaborate. I don't do that. I let the story tell itself.
Mm,
And I always start with a character and I put them in the situation that I want to see them in at the end. And
mhm.
then I let, wherever the character is located in the end of the story, I let the character just go and I sort of chronicle what happens. Now, there are some reasons that this becomes actually kind of a difficult way to write, especially when you're editing later on.
Right, right.
But the parts that I think, um, the character of Charles is never supposed to be a bigger figure than he became. Um, and I just wanted somebody at the very beginning to say, "This is a terrible idea. Don't go in here." But as I was writing the story, I'm like, "No." And I think we understand our characters better internally, and there are things that Charles is about his person that doesn't make it onto the written page and doesn't make it onto my character sheets. It's just things that I understand internally about him. Charles is a guy who is deeply, deeply conflicted about his role in how the house moved along, kind of his role in because something happened there that he had the ability to stop, but he didn't.
Mm,
And he blames himself. He thinks he's a coward.
mhm.
Um, when you read about what happened, you'll be like, "Oh, well, no, I understand why he didn't do anything because that's weird." But he blames himself, and that guilt is so um, it hits him so hard that that guilt forces him back. It forces him
Mm.
back into the house that he didn't want anything to do with anymore. Um, and that was surprising to me because I honestly didn't see him coming back.
Hmm.
You know, I
And
but
uh,
I think that's true of all writers though. I think we all
yeah,
are we all write things that and then we go, "Oh my gosh. Wow, okay."
actually, yeah, that's actually happened with me a few times with my story, the stories I'm writing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like sometimes I outline a story, sometimes I don't, because it depends on the story that I'm telling.
Yeah.
Um, and there's like like literally when I'm writing a story, I sometimes when a character I'm about to kill off,
Mhm.
but I get to a certain point, I'm about to kill them off. I thought about it, but wait, I think I can actually do a little bit more before I take them off. And then I was like, and I've always learned like put your mind into your character's head to
Yeah.
have your character tell their story.
Yeah.
And that sounds like, I can actually make it better. I can make the story better and stretch it out just a little bit more before his demise, his or her demise. I'm
Yep.
like, this character is actually important to another character. I need to showcase their relationship a bit more to make them like to make the potential audience care for this character before I just kill them off. And like when I'm telling my stories, I try to make each character important some way somehow, like
Yeah.
to be like relatable and like a certain like because I don't follow like these are the main characters you need to follow. Like I want every single character to have an important uh point in in the story as the story flows together.
Yeah. It sounds like so you may run into the same problem I do. I'm so there are two types of writers in this world for your audience. You may not know this. We are either underwriters or overwriters. There are people who will write, 170,000 words and they'll be like, "Ah, I got to cut this back to 110." So then you got to lose 60,000 words.
Mhm.
Or there are people like me that'll be like, "Oh, I'm shooting for 75, 80,000 words," which is about where I tend to like to come in at, but
Mhm.
I'll end up with 60,000 words. And then I'll go back and I'll be like, "Okay, I got to add some content." But as I'm going through, I'll realize a lot of times that I have not let the characters tell their stories,
Mhm.
and I know that has to happen. Yeah.
And with the Henrico House, were there like real life experiences, like locations influencing your story?
Oh, 100%. So and this is so you can see the house here. The
Let me zoom in
house,
right quick.
yeah, there you go.
There we go.
So the house itself,
Mm,
The just the general structure of the house
mhm.
is actually based off of an old plantation home that's here in Virginia, called the Belgrove Plantation out in King George, Virginia. It was the boyhood home of James Madison. He was born there, I think.
Wow.
And it's still standing. It still looks period right. They host events there. I'm actually going to be there in September or October, I think. I think it's October. No, it's either, well, it's one of the 2 months. If you subscribe to my socials, Brian the Writer on Facebook, you're going to see where you're going to see I make mention of where I show up. You can come catch me there, but it's a cool. Oh, I'll tell you what, Gray Wolf, you would love this house. And they tour. You can go on tour. It's also a
Oh,
bed and
cool.
breakfast, so you can go in there. Oh, by the way, I will give a warning to everybody. My wife just got home, so our dog is about to lose her mind. Just so that you know, she does this. She's a terrier. Telling her to shut up will do no good. She will bark anyway, but I love her. You know, what are you going to do? It's a dog. Uh,
Yeah.
but anyway, so the Belgrove Plantation in King George, Virginia. You can look it up online. There's actually two Belgrove plantations in Virginia. Um, but it's a great old house, beautiful. They have it's called Spirit Fest every year, and I
Ooh,
go out
Spirit
there and
Fest. Oh yeah.
I sell my books, and myself and a couple other authors are there. But more importantly, our distillers around the state of Virginia show up and they sell their wares as well. Yeah, so you can get different types of beer and wine and spirits and that kind of thing. Spirits. Aha.
Sound like a
Um,
party.
you know what? I'll tell you what. It's an amazing weekend. I absolutely adore that show. And you're hitting the perfect stride of weather here in Virginia. Uh, Doggy didn't lose her mind as much as I thought she would. That's okay. That's
Oh,
all right.
nice, nice.
Yeah.
And you write horror, you write
Yes.
mysteries, and you write
Yes.
thrillers.
Yep.
What draws you mostly to these genres?
Oh, I love. So I don't like the term horror,
Okay.
and I'll tell you why.
Mm,
Because horror as a genre can encompass like a lot of different things. What I find scary, you may not find scary. What you may find scary, I might find terrifying. Um, so that's the issue with the term horror. You can have, I don't like paranormal thriller either. I don't know what the proper term would be. But you can have a romantic horror story.
mhm.
You can have a kind of a very adult romantic horror story. You can have, you've got body horror, you've got psychological horror, which I love psychological horror, by the way.
Yes, I think that's my
And
favorite one, if I'm being
yeah,
honest.
you can get all kinds of different things like that as sort of part of that wider umbrella. But the thing that really sort of attracts me to that is this idea of a dialogue, heavily dialogue driven. Um,
Mm,
I like characters who are going to be playing off one another. Not all darkness, by the way. You can't have all dark and not enough light. You've got to have some humor injected in there as well. Otherwise, I mean, think about it. If you had something that is just all dark and all doom and gloom and people murdering each other, and I mean, cool, but there's no incentive to keep reading at that point.
yeah, sure.
People will just yeah,
I was like, in like my early drafts of my stories, it'd usually be dark, dark.
yeah, yeah,
But as I've grown as a writer and learned like different things, I ease it up a bit. I'm like, and add different. I don't. Well, I call it flavors, but the
yeah,
different. Well, I just keep it at flavors, but to add like because not everyone likes this, like likes that, so I try to mix it,
yeah.
like mix my stories up together. Because because like you said, you might turn off a reader and say
You've
just
got a
too.
brake pedal and no, I'm kidding. I don't do that. Um, the where was I going with this? I don't remember anymore. Who knows? All nonsense happened. We lost track. I don't know.
Oh my
Um,
god.
no, I think dialogue is such a heavy component to my writing style,
Mhm,
because I love the way people talk with one another.
mhm.
Um, there's a in one book I wrote, there's this wonderful one of the characters is a ghost, and he's having this argument with one of the living characters, and they're arguing about I forget what they're arguing about, but one of them shoots the other, or the ghost shoots the living guy with a musket. A s-
God
but
dang.
it's a spectral musket, so it doesn't do any damage, but it sounds real enough and scares the living hell
Yeah,
out of everybody. Um, like, that's great.
that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, well, in Henrico House, when I'm going through and writing, um, one of the ways I kind of control the speed a little bit is I will use short sections where Lucy is letting a little, or Lucy or Charles is explaining a little bit more about the house. I've taken that crazy speed and then I've slowed it down, and then I speed it back up again,
Wow.
um, because I'm trying to keep I'm trying to keep you moving and not all at one speed all the time, because that gets to be a bit much when you're reading. Um,
Right.
I mean, the most important thing is I always write things that I know I'd like to read.
Yeah, I think that's what's most important. And I've always been taught is that don't go into this thinking about what people want or what you think people want to read or see.
Exactly.
So you have to. It's your creative story. You
Yeah.
write the story from your heart. You write it from your mind. You have to
Yeah.
create it your own. Like
Yeah. You can't. I never like the idea of people say, "Oh, go out and buy the publisher magazines that tell you what to write." Well,
yeah, no,
great. So you're going to be constantly behind a wave. You're never going
yeah,
to be at the top of one. You just
yeah,
have to write the stories that you want to write and produce them how you want to produce them, and you'll find your audience. It'll happen.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And now when it gets like the publishing aspect of it, when you got
Yeah.
done with Henrico House and
Yep.
writing it, editing it, how was your experience working with Jumpmaster Press, and like how did that relationship begin?
First of all, Jumpmaster Press, great group of people, phenomenal bunch of authors to be involved in. Kyle and Gene and the rest of the gang over there are just amazing people. Um, I actually met them at a show that kind of morphed. So for years, I was doing Scares That Care. Um, they had a con that they would run down in Williamsburg, and I would go there to sell my books, and it would support the charity. Well, that
Nice.
morphed over the years into something else. One year, Jumpmaster Press came and they set up the whole store there. And I am an Army vet, so I saw Jumpmaster, and I'm like, "Ooh, Jumpmaster!" And then I saw
Oh,
their little
Army
emblem.
vet,
I'm like,
thank you for your
yeah.
service.
Oh, yeah. I always like to say that I ended up getting out more out of it than I think I gave, because
Wow.
everything I have in life, I can go back to the Army and say, this is where I learned those skills, and kept me moving forward. But
Wow.
my greatest pleasure is but to serve. So I saw this their symbol, and I'm like, oh, Jumpmaster. So I had to ask the question, Jumpmaster, you guys jump masters, and then talked about the Army connection. Then we geeked out about the Army. I actually
Yeah.
interviewed a bunch of the authors from Jumpmaster Press on my own show, All Things Writing, and that was
Wow.
great fun. That was great fun. Um, and then after a while, I had gotten the first draft of Henrico House done, and I sent it off to them, and that's kind of how that whole relationship got started. Of course, Kyle sent me back corrections. Editors, by the way, for your audience who may or may not know this, editors, they live on the tears of authors. They do. That's how they get their sustenance. They
Tears
do.
of authors.
No. So seriously, one of the things I love that Jumpmaster does is they came back to me and said, okay, well, there are some things you have to work on to get this ready, and I got a very detailed listing of stuff I needed to do. And so I sat back down and I edited my little heart out. And the end result is great. It really, really is quite lovely.
And is the book officially out now?
Oh, yes, yes. I would send you over to jumpmasterpress.com. You could also go to bryannowak.com and look at the horror pull down, and you'll see Henrico House. If you click on that, it'll take you straight to the Jumpmaster site, where you can buy the book. But go to Jumpmaster Press anyway and check out the rest of the books. There's a lot of really great ones in there,
Dude, heck
that
yeah.
that you love, that you love.
Let me post your website right here.
I appreciate it.
There you go,
Yeah,
BryanNowak.com.
that is.
And like, yeah, let me get the JumpMasterPress.com right quick.
Yeah, jumpmasterpress.com. They are a phenomenal group.
Yeah, they are.
And you can so many different wonderful books. By the way, if I can,
And JumpMasterPress.com right here, guys.
yes, jumpmasterpress.com. I was gonna grab. Oh, it's
And
all the way. It's
BryanNowak.com.
all the way over on the other side of the room. I was gonna show off the Black Spine edition Dracula, which is
Oh, nice. It
amazing.
looks
Here,
amazing.
did you see it?
Yes, I have. I
Oh
have.
yeah.
It
Oh,
looks amazing.
okay. Let me grab one. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Fortunately, my office is currently an utter disaster area right now. And because of that, everything's literally laying over. Now, this one's wrapped in plastic. That's why it's very shiny. But
All right, zoom
this
in.
is
Here we
this
go.
is this is Dracula.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. The
Ah,
foreword, by the way, in this copy was written by Dacre Stoker. Now, Dacre
mm,
Stoker is actually a friend. I met him at StokerCon years ago, and yeah, we ended up having breakfast together, him and I. But phenomenal, phenomenal. The cool part about it is, so the pages are black and the writing's white.
I saw that. Yeah, it
Yeah,
looks so freaking
yeah.
cool. That is
I
so freaking cool.
Yeah. It turned out the
Oh
Black
my
Spine
god.
editions just are amazing. But anyway, yeah,
Wow. And I want to get back to more your creative process.
sure.
How do you like create these believable and memorable characters? Because a lot of people kind of like, I don't remember what happened in that story because it wasn't really memorable. Like, how do you go about with your writing? How do you create
Yeah,
characters that's memorable
yeah.
for
So
the audience?
so personal note, kiss of death for me in any book is if something terrible is going to happen to a character and I don't care.
Mhm.
If I don't care, then you've lost me. That's it. I'm done. Um, you have to make sure your characters are believable from the standpoint of being real. All the people who, all the characters that you're portraying have to have real personalities behind them. And you start with developing a character sheet that tells you the details that you've already thought about this person. What I will do is, when I'm writing, I actually keep a list of main characters like at the very bottom of the text so
Mhm.
that I can constantly refer back to it to make sure I'm getting names right, because it's like, how many different ways are there to spell McIntyre? Actually, quite a few. So it gets a
Bro,
little.
look at that. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
thank
Look
you,
at
Gray Wolf. You are the
that.
best. Oh, oh.
Awesome.
So, actually, Gray Wolf, you bring up a very, very good point. Henrico House, the name Henrico, actually, I did take that from Henrico County because I used to do a
Ah,
Bigfoot convention in Henrico. Why would I do a Bigfoot convention? Who knows? But for me, it was a pretty good show. It was in Henrico House. That was the Bigfoot convention, or Henrico County. And I would go down there and I thought, hey, that's a great name. Henrico. I love it. So I used it, but thank you very much. You are the best. Um,
heck yeah.
yeah. So, and I do these character sheets where I give the name, I give details. So like name, age. I even try to assign like a birth month. Uh, I can.
Ah, yeah.
Sexual orientation, not that it may even be a factor.
Mhm,
Are they black? Are they white? Are they Latino? Are they Asian? Who are they as a person? What is their religious beliefs? Because
mhm,
religious beliefs have a very big impact on how they're going to look at the world. If they are if they're Catholic, they're going to view all ghosts as dangerous and evil. So it wouldn't make sense to have a Catholic who's running around going, "Oh no, that ghost is just misunderstood." That wouldn't work within the context. Um,
mm,
so you do have to sort of take those pieces and and kind of look at them from the standpoint of who is this individual. Now what's
mm,
really surprising is that sometimes you'll have things come out on those character sheets that may not make it in the book, but it'll inform their personality to a certain extent. I wrote in one of my other books, there's a character who is lesbian. It doesn't show up in the oh god, I love the Tidewater counties, by the way. Um, I do. I love it down there.
nice.
It's one of my favorite places. Um,
Wow.
actually, I love the water, uh, but there on the sheet it talks about her being a lesbian. That has no bearing in any of the like first three books. But and like in the next book, there's a mention of her wife. It's not important mostly to who this person is,
Mhm,
but it does feed in. So there's all those little character things. Uh, like Miko, it's a really good. Miko and Helena are both sort of athletic people. They did taekwondo together. They did or karate. I don't remember which one, but they did athletic stuff together. Why? Because they're twins. Everything in their
mm.
lives revolves around them. And if you look at my character sheets, you'll see there's a line in there that says, what will they die for? Miko and Helena would die for each other because they're their twins. They would give their lives
Ah,
for the other twin because without them, they can't live anyway. And they
mhm,
truly believe that. Um, so yeah. And Charles, what is Charles, his major driver? It's his own guilt. His
mm,
own guilt really eats him up inside, and it's caustic, it's a cancer. Um, so things progress for him the way they have to. They just have to.
mm,
Not a literal cancer, but like a soul crushing guilt cancer that won't go away because it's inside of him and it consumes him. Um,
mm.
but those are things that are on the character sheets that give that two dimensional thing a three dimension aspect to it,
Ah,
and it's
yeah.
to me it's important. um I don't write character sheets for like minor characters, but it's really important to keep that
Oh,
together.
wow, Grey Wolf. Wow.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
that's really cool.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
in your take, how important is world building even in like the horror genre?
So it's funny. I literally just had a panel on world building at this show I did last weekend. I do a lot of shows this time of year.
Nice.
And literally when we're done here, I'm getting in a car and I'm driving to another show. Uh,
Oh my God. Wow.
yeah, in August, I'm gonna take a little break because I'm tired. To be honest,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, you need a break.
53. It wears me out.
Yeah.
Um, so world building is important, but it's important from the aspect of you have characters that have to live somewhere. So you have to make that world real enough. Henrico House, the building itself, is a character.
Mm,
And that's where all of this stuff takes place. It's changing, it's unpredictable, it's very dark and very concerning to everyone involved. And you have to build it out in a real well. So when they enter Henrico House, there's old furniture still in the building that's been there from like the 1700s. It's still sitting
mm.
there. There's dust on things. Miko goes downstairs to the basement. He finds himself in a room that's set up like a mortuary. The
Oh,
reason well, the reason and again, it's world building. The reason it's set up like a mortuary is because at one point in the house's history, it was a funeral home, but it was also
mm.
used to teach funeral directors as well.
Ah.
So you've got a casket on the catafalque sitting there, and behind the wall, you've got the room where they did the embalming and the refrigerators
Mm.
lining up against the wall. That is, these are all parts of the world, pieces and parts of that disturbing world that I'm inviting you to read.
I
I
definitely
love
gotta check that out.
I love funeral homes. They're so great and they're so creepy and oddly enough, unnecessarily creepy because generally funeral homes are not haunted.
Yeah, sure.
Because why would they be? I mean, nobody deep emotional attachment to a funeral home is weird, but you never know.
Right. All right. Now I want to get like some fun rapid fire questions to end out the
Let's do it.
show.
Let's do it.
So first, random question: coffee or tea while writing?
Coffee. Coffee.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, coffee because I write in the mornings.
Ah. Well, that's my next question. If you're a morning writer or a night writer.
Morning writer, first thing, it is when I'm at my sharpest and most creative. Afternoons are reserved for social media, editing work, and video games
Wow. What's your favorite video game?
and reading.
Actually.
Right now, I am playing my way back through Assassin's Creed Black Flag because when they re-released it with the
Oh,
updated
snap.
graphics and versions, oh, it is so much. It
Hell
won a ton of awards and it deserved every one of them.
yeah. Nice. Favorite horror movie?
Favorite horror movie. So I used to say Bela Lugosi Dracula. Children of the night, what music they make. However, I will say that if you have not gone out and saw Nosferatu that was released, I think it was last year, you're missing out. Nosferatu, they did a phenomenal job with that movie. Ladies and gentlemen, the big complaints I heard is, oh, it moves slow. Well, okay, that's fine. But the work they did with light and shadows and oh, it's magnifique. It's wonderful.
Favorite horror novel? Novel. Jesus Christ.
Oh, favorite horror novel. Henrico House. No. No, I'm not gonna name my own. Favorite horror novel. I would say that would have to be Ronald Malfi's Black Mouth.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah, no, it was an
Favorite.
excellent book.
What about favorite mystery novel?
I am gonna say Agatha Christie's, and then there was none.
Hmm.
Because it was originally released as 10 Little Indians, was the original title. But and there are people that hate on that book because you get to the end. I'm not spoiling anything. The book's been around for, what, 120 years. Um, the there's no actual like murderer at the end. Uh,
Interesting.
yeah. You don't know who's done it. It's not really a solved murder. Um, that's a great one. Murder on the Orient Express. I love.
Uh,
Oh,
oh
you know what?
yes,
Gray
yeah.
Wolf. I'm right there with you. I
I'm right there
love.
too, Ray
Yeah,
Ralph.
yeah.
Yes.
Um, but I would not say, I would not say it's my favorite only because I loved Black Mouth as much as I did. It was an excellent, excellent book. Um, I like the work of Agatha Christie. Phenomenal, phenomenal mystery writer. Phenomenal mystery writer.
A fictional world you would love to visit.
Yeah. A fictional world that I would love to visit. That's a good question. That's an interesting question.
It could be movies, shows, or book.
Oh, um, boy, that is a really hard question. Because I think oh, the Murder on the Orient Express.
I've never heard of Black Mouth. I'll look it up. Who wrote it?
Ronald Melfi wrote it.
He's about to. You got a copy of it?
Yes, I do. Hold on.
Okay, okay.
Here I am plugging other people's books.
Oh,
Funny,
sure.
funny story.
There it is.
Yeah, there you go. Ronald Melfi. Uh, Phenomenal human being, by the way.
Oh,
Just he's
nice.
just a great guy. But yeah, definitely worth checking out. Um, yeah, Murder on the Orient Express. If I had to live through a book, which is actually, if you know how the book ends, um, it's kind of messed up, honestly. Who killed him? Literally everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted that guy dead. So, um, yeah, I think that would be fun. I think it might be kind of fun to go back and live the life in the video game. John Marston. The video game was it's a video game set in the Wild West. My brain's just I'm not hitting that right
Ah,
nerve to pull the name of the video game out, but
gotcha, gotcha.
yeah, yeah.
One word that describes Henrico House.
One word. Hmm. Hmm. One word. Hmm. I would say, man, you've got all the hard questions. Did you like what kind of questions can we stump the authors with? That's
I
what
try to make some creative questions when I'm interviewing people.
I would say. Um,
Oh, great. Will found it.
there you go. There you go. Yeah, you won't be disappointed. He's one of my favorite authors, without a doubt. Um, Despair.
Ooh, despair. Awesome.
Hmm.
Okay,
It's the
okay.
it's the pent up despair. Yeah.
Ooh, okay, okay.
Yep.
If Henrico House became a movie, who would you want to direct it?
Uh, this is gonna gain me either fans or hate mail. Quentin Tarantino.
Really
Yeah.
interesting. But he does have some decent movies, though.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. 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 I think he would be
Okay.
good. I think he would be good. And I think who's the guy that oh see, and the bad part is I'm not that up on my directors because I don't get to watch many movies. That's the funny part is because I'm always either
Wow.
writing, editing, revising, or going to shows.
Yeah.
Just like I said, I'm gonna be leaving here and driving to West Virginia to Lurch Fest here.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do a lot of
Uh-huh.
that. I do a lot of that.
Uh, what's like one horror trope that you love that you think is like well done?
Horror tropes that I think are well done. I absolutely love when are we talking books or movies?
Either one.
Okay, either one.
Yeah.
Um I love the idea of things being set in like abandoned houses.
Mm,
I think that's cool because nothing good happens in abandoned houses, especially if they've
not
been
at all.
abandoned for like 30 years. I mean, forget that.
Not at all. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
also really love if in and I mentioned it earlier, Nosferatu. Uh, there's this scene where they're in where the sailors in the hold of the whole sorry bug they're in the hold of the ship and you see the sailor walking and you see the Dracula Nosferatu character like their
Mm,
shadow move and it's very very subtle just the use of that shadow moving is so wonderfully, beautifully. Oh, it's wonderful. It's so well done. I love caskets.
mm,
Love caskets. Um, yeah, anything funerary. I love it. I think it's cool.
nice. And
Yeah.
what do you think that's one trope that you'd like to see used less?
I don't like jump scares. The reason I don't like jump
Agreed.
scares is because I
Yeah.
think when you have these constant, this is my criticism of the movie The Nun. I didn't like it because it was jump scare after jump scare after jump scare. I'm like,
I'm right there with you.
what is the point of
I'm right
this?
there with you. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not letting that tension rise inside of me, and that's what you need to
Mhm.
do. That's you need to build that up. That's what I try to do in Henrico House is I try to build that tension, and then I do something twisted. Um,
Mhm.
because uh, I that's what I liked about Nosferatu. There wasn't these big jump scares. Also, another great movie that I would point out, older movie, the Johnny Depp version of Headless Horseman or Legend of
Oh,
Sleepy
Sleepy
Hollow.
Hollow. Sleepy
That was
Hollow.
a great
Yes. I
movie.
love that one. I
And
love
and
that one.
and I love the fact that he's like trying to do these like modern police detection things, and he's like grossed out by all of it.
Yeah.
Um, but that added so much to the storyline.
That's one of my all-time favorite movies.
Yeah, it was such a great movie. So yeah, that is definitely something I would love to see less of.
I'm right with you on that one.
Yeah.
But we come to the end of the show, guys. First off, Brian, thank you for coming on, man.
Oh, thank you
And
so much. I
and
appreciate it.
you can get Henrico House at jumpmasterpress.com or briannowak.com or even on Amazon, like did what Grey Wolf did.
Yeah.
Find it on Amazon as well. And make sure you support Brian and all his works. Where can we follow you on social media to keep up to date with you?
If you search for Brian the Writer on Facebook, you'll find me. Author Bryan Nowak on the Insta. You can find me there. And yeah, I mean, those are my big socials. The
Nice.
ones that I do mostly. I try to post several things every day, but sometimes I don't get around to it. I do try to share some of the Jumpmaster Press posts as well because we like to share each other's great work.
Heck yeah.
And accolades and when things go well for people.
Heck yeah. And
Yeah.
you can find me on the gram at I am Kevin Davis official, Facebook I am Kevin Davis CEO, and you can find me here at the Madness Network because we're all mad sometimes. So all the time. It just depends on the
We're all mad down here.
day. But we'll catch you guys next time on the Kevirsyle Network podcast. See you guys later.
If you missed the live viewing of any Madness Entertainment Group production, you can find all our content on Roku or as a member of this channel. We'll see you next time on the Madness Entertainment Group.